All right, it's a topic that always brings up many questions, Florida's no-fault law. And here to explain is Marc Parish from Catania Catania. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we're talking about this topic. I feel like we have kind of touched on this with the Catania Catania team, but it's definitely interesting times for no-fault. So kind of explain what it is first, and then talk about the changes possibly coming.
Absolutely. Most people know it as personal injury protection, or PIP. And what it is it's designed to cover people who are involved in motor vehicle accidents and incur bills. And it covers drivers, it covers passengers, no matter where you are.
Okay.
And so what's happening now is it's become a big legislative hot topic. Recently, the Florida House overwhelmingly voted to repeal the no-fault law. And sort of the rationale or the justification behind it was a lot of times we have clients come into the office and they say, well, I got involved in this accident, who's paying my medical bills? And I say, well, it's your insurance company. And they say, well, why? I didn't do anything wrong. I wasn't at fault for this accident. Why isn't the other person?
They kind of feel like they're being punished.
Absolutely. And they're oftentimes curious as to why their own insurance company would have to pay for their medical bills for an accident they didn't cause. And so it's difficult to sort of explain that that's the way the law is currently set up in Florida, and a large part behind the change.
And that's what I wanted to bring up too, because from what I understand, states, it varies a lot around the country. It really depends on what state you're in.
And it does. And Florida realizes that. And so they're trying to make those modifications and those changes. That way, when I have clients come into the office, they're not as sort of frustrated or upset that, hey, my insurance premiums are going to go up through no fault of my own.
Right. I know a lot of a big kind of hot button issue here in Florida specifically is there are a lot of drivers around here. I mean, it's a dangerous state to drive in. This is an issue that needs to be looked at, does it not?
It is. And that's oftentimes the problem. And what people don't realize a lot of times is sort of the policies and procedures behind PIP. And a lot of times people go online and they fill out these insurance applications without any real knowledge as to what they're signing up for. And oftentimes it's just, what can I afford? What's the cheapest coverage? And that's problematic when you have a lot of drivers in a state.
Talk about timeliness of this too, because I know this is something you wanted to bring up as far as filing and making sure what the current law is that you're doing everything you need to now. Talk about timeliness and some deadlines that people need to know about as far as accidents.
Oftentimes I have clients who come in and let's say they get in an accident on April 1st.
Okay.
But it's not until April 19th that they decide they're going to go see the doctor. Well, that presents a huge problem because in the state of Florida, you have 14 days by which to seek medical treatment in order to qualify for those PIP benefits. And so a lot of times I get clients who say, you know what, I'm sore, but I can tough it out. I'm going to be okay. And then 3 weeks later, they decide, you know what, I want to go to the doctor. And it becomes a huge problem because then you're not getting the benefit of the PIP.
So you literally have no options at that point?
You have your health insurance if you have it. You certainly have your own out-of-pocket money, but PIP entitles you to $10,000, and that covers 80% of your medical bills, 60% of your lost wages. And so it's a huge deal if you miss out on that 14-day time period, because that's a lot to give up.
So we have less than a minute left. What is your take home for people watching? And again, there's some changes, you know, obviously we're going to have to keep tuned to as well, but what's your take home for people watching this morning about this issue?
Absolutely, and I think it's the last thing we just touched on, which was make sure you seek medical treatment within 14 days, because whether it's the hospital, a doctor, your primary care physician, an orthopedist, a chiropractor, make sure you go see them in a timely fashion, because ultimately when the time comes and you have $6,000 or $8,000 or $10,000 in medical bills, it's important that those doctors and those medical providers submit it in a timely fashion, because otherwise you're on the hook for those bills.
This is why we're so glad that Catania Catania is part of our show, so we can help inform our viewers as well. But I know you guys also say, you know what, you can call us, you can get a free consult. Maybe if someone has questions, you would encourage them to go ahead, call your office.
Absolutely, and I always love meeting with prospective clients, and we're always happy to give a consultation and go over the facts of the case. Well,
there it is right there, the number to call, the website as well. And thanks so much. We look forward to seeing you again soon, okay?
All right, thank you for having me.